Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for attending ORDIN Labs webinar, 3 Hidden Problems in Real Estate Software Integration. My name is Denis Ivanov. I am the CEO and founder of ORDIN. We have Anna Danilova, our product analyst, that will help us through this webinar and answer your questions in the chat or maybe some following questions in email. So let's start with a brief introduction. I would like to introduce myself. Let me share my screen just for a second. Okay. So, and just once more. Okay, here it is. So, Anna, hello. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, hello.
Okay,
I'm here to help you.
Yes, great. So I hope my screen is visible and we can start. So let me briefly introduce myself. I'm Denis Ivanov. I'm the founder of ORDIN. For 10 years, we build and integrate our platform for commercial real estate facility and property management. We deal with lots of customers around the globe. Basically, we have our core product for buildings management, and also on top of this product, we create complicated integrations with building engineering systems and software. And basically, this will be the key theme, the key idea of our today's webinar. So here, me and Anna, we introduce our ORDIN Labs branch. This is the research and development department of our company, where we help big and mid-sized real estate portfolio owners with integrating like complicated projects, complicated software. In brief, what we do, we create some custom computer-aided facility management software integrations, for example, with face recognition or integrating with engineering software. We create mobile apps for the residents, for tenants, for residents of residential complexes, where they can buy services, pay online, and use their mobile phone for the access controls. This will be one of the cases that we'll discover today. So, of course, we do some hardware integrations with access management, with HVACs, with BMS. We install property management software from our partners. We create online payment gateways for the residents of commercial real estate buildings, office spaces, of trade centers. And also we deal with parking and access control, and this will be also one of the cases that we'll discover today. So basically, again, to be very brief, we help real estate portfolio owners, real estate landlords raise revenues with complicated integrations of the software in their building. We have our own team of developers. They are focused on real estate software. So, and for the last year, we've done tons of integrations, and I'd like to share today some of the hidden problems that we've met during this work. But first of all, here on that page on our website, there's a chat. And before we start, I'd like to kindly ask you to ask questions, to share ideas, to share thoughts. And this is a live webinar. This is not a recording. And me and Anna would love to answer your questions. And if you're looking this video in the recording, still our contacts are available and you can contact us through our website. We are always online during the work hours, of course. And we'd love to hear from you. Thank you. So, okay, we got 3 cases that I'd like to share. First of all, we'll talk about access control in the mobile apps. The second idea in the second case is about integrating Face ID recognition system and computer-aided facility management software. And the third one, we'll talk a little about BIM, the building information model that everybody's talking about. And I'll share my experience, my team experience, about is it true that BIM can help facility management? This is a big question that everybody asks, and we'll also discuss a little. So let's start. The first case and the first hidden problem I'd like to share is about access control in the mobile app. The idea is pretty that simple. And the key thing that I'd like to focus on that is the importance of being well documented. Documentation is a cornerstone of any integration project. For example, if you want to connect your mobile app and your access control system, there should be documentation. If you want to see, for example, CO2 emissions of your building in the mobile app of the resident, those integration should be documented. So let's have a look. So we had a customer, it's a landlord that owns 16 commercial office buildings, and most of them are A-class with very high standards of the maintenance and of the service for the residents. And basically it's a small city because inside those buildings there are 40,000 of the residents. And if we take all the people that live in this area, again, it's a small city, it's 150,000 people in the area. So the customer got a very, very simple idea. Like, we want to generate more revenues. It's the key question for any landlord. And how we can do it? And the idea popped in mind in our project group is we can create a mobile app for the property management company and sell services of the facility management company and of the partners who work in these buildings, like cafes, laundries, and other stuff, share in a mobile marketplace. But the key question that we asked our customer, why should people download another one app? Everybody's tired of those apps. And the answer was that we'll integrate a hands-free access module in this application, so people will get rid of those plastic cards to enter the building, and they will enter through the gateways, just keeping their phone in the pocket, and there will be enough for entering the building. That sounds great. So this is the ideal. This is why the residents will download the app, because it makes simpler their access to the building, and we decided to do it. So the technical solution in terms of technologies was pretty that simple. In any modern mobile phone like iPhone or Android with versions 9 plus, the BLE module, which stands for Bluetooth Low Energy, that also works in access control systems. And that model is in every mobile phone. We just create an app. We install on the gateway the readers, and we'll create an access control system integration, the server. So it's quite simple. We also found some providers that provide those readers. They were not cheap. And if you can imagine that every one of the 16 business centers has about 3 or 4 access zones, entrance zones. And in those zones, there are like around 6 or 8 gateways, so the amount was quite big. But still, there was some option that we can do. We can use it only on a single gateway in each access control. So for the MVP stage. So again, pretty that simple. You have a code of the same code you have in your plastic card when you access the building. This code is in your BLE reader, and this code is in your mobile phone. Just attach it to the reader and voila, go in. But then there were some things that appeared later, is that there already was a vendor on this buildings, and customer decided to use those vendors because they already had some integrations. And the idea was that vendor had an SDK. The vendor is a company that provides access control systems. We said, okay, we have our readers, we have our server, just use our SDK. SDK is a library for a mobile phone. It's like a small program that installed inside the program, and which covers all the operations with BLE readers. Why not? It should make process simpler. So we said, okay, so we have this a little bit more complicated approach, but still fine. But still, it's not too complicated. We checked out the documentation. It looked well. There was an API for the server and also API for the SDK. But when we started integrations, we found out that although we use a hybrid technology to develop our mobile apps, what stands for hybrid? It means that we have a single code base for App Store and Android, for iPhones and Android phones, and this makes development process more straightforward. So it's just simpler, it saves money and time. So, and we faced that this vendor has two SDKs for Android and for iOS, and iOS SDK wasn't documented at all. So basically they created the SDK for us. We asked them, like, how did you make your previous integrations? And also later we found out that they have only one integration before. I said, okay, so we have a startup here. So, okay, let's work with the startups. Everybody loves startups. So let's work with them. And they were quite friendly, quite helpful. And when we ended up with this kind of final architecture. So the problem is that there was not only SDKs here, but also we should have created a backend app for this. Okay, great, let's create a backend app. And then it's also not so easy, because in their access control server here, there is no tokens, there is no ability to share the codes of the cards for the access. And we also need, in this case, integrate with a token server. So you see, and the scheme becomes a little bit overcomplicated. And then we dig deeper. So, okay. So, and when we dig deeper, we see that part of those integrations had no documentation at all also. Great. And basically, the whole information that we had there was taken from the head of the engineer that was talking to us. So we created a documentation within this company. Of course, it took much more time. And then when we started, just a second. Okay, here. So then we started testing. Okay, we created an app. We created the software, and the problem was that despite Anna was the tester who went to this business center. So despite of there was a testing set from the vendor. It didn't work. So in order to real life testing, you have to go to the business centers, the gateways, and test an app. And it took 1 day, 3 days, and although everything was fine, the gate didn't open. We were all the team, everybody was really upset. And after some fixes on the side of the vendor, we finally got this. Everybody was applauding that, yes, we did it. It worked fine. Yes, it took 2 months more, but finally the result was very nice. So it worked, and the mobile app was ready, and now it's used on the business center. So you can come in, you can come out. But it took lots of time and lots of energy from us. So let's wrap up. What is the hidden problem here? First of all, the vendor that was provided by the customer had a really complicated closed architecture. There was no real cases. They had only a couple of integrations before, and the SDK API documentation was inconsistent. So it wasn't tied to the real code, and we always had to check how every piece of code works from the vendor manager. No tutorials at all, and the testing was only on site. So although the project on the first glance seemed to be really simple, it looked really simple, we had the hidden problem that we always very often see with hardware vendors that provide access control systems, that provides climate control systems, heating, like CO2 emissions control. They're not always good at building software, because building hardware, building software, it's a very different type of business. So here you should always do three simple things. Check cases of the integrations of the vendor. If you choose some kind of vendor for your integration project that provide hardware, go and check cases, go to the buildings, talk to the customers, and understand what are the hidden problems there. Even if it's a startup, and there could be there will be very useful information. Check out SDK and API documentation, and not just check it in real life. Ask for the sandbox. The sandbox is a piece of software that vendor usually provides for the IT integration, where they can test their software in a safe environment. And there should be tutorials for the developers, not only API, but also tutorials, like maybe videos, maybe pieces of code that explains the software developers how this hardware solution works. So this is it. And if you have any questions, again, even if you're looking this video in the recording, with the chat on the bottom of the page, click and ask, and we'd love to answer. We can answer live right now, or we can answer in your email if you leave it and on the bottom of the page in the chat box. So the second case that we'll discuss today is integration of our ORDIN computer-aided facility management system and face recognition, like BOID systems, where people can be authorized with their face with a reader. So here we had a customer that has 4 multi-use buildings. They're also A class, and the key problem was that in this building there are one team of 100 technicians, engineers, cleaners, and other people that are maintaining this building. And in order to automatize their process inside the computer-aided facility management system, inside the CAFM system, we need to route the maintenance work orders automatically to the engineers and technicians that are in the building right now, that are like inside the building. They have their workday running. And in order to understand this, the customer used the Face ID recognition system and the Face ID server that shows the people who are present right now in the building, the list of the people, again, technicians, engineers. And when we got those requests, we checked the API. It was really well documented. There have been lots of cases of integrations, not like in the previous one. And it looked really nice. There was only one issue that they had an API is in a different, like an old style language that it's called XML. Basically, if you're a real estate owner, you don't have to understand and deal with those things, but it just makes a little bit complicated, the integration. So basically, you just need to translate from one language to another, but it's made automatically and it wasn't a problem. So, and we started making integration with the GraphQL server. Again, you don't have to know all those complicated words, but GraphQL is a really nice and really new technology that shares data. You can imagine it's like a person, those server, that knows lots of languages. Like, for example, I know English, Estonian, I know Russian, I know Spain, but I basically can't talk, for example, German. And can you imagine a person, a universal translator, it can talk any kind of languages. It's the same that Hasura does with the data. It connects all sorts of data in a single environment, and you can share it. You can make all kinds of integrations and do it really, really fast. This is our key technology that our integration project in integration use. And this integration, this project was really pretty simple. So we take data about the person who is in the building, and when we have maintenance work orders created, they're automatically routed to electricians, to plumbers, to technicians and other persons that are in the building without need for the dispatcher to manually enter their names. So really good. And when the project was absolutely ready, we were just asking for the production credentials. We understood that this API, this server, doesn't have any kind of authorization, any kind of secure cryptography. So they just share those data inside the internal network. But if you want to take this data from outside of the building, like physically of the building, you need to create your own secure protocol. And this wasn't documented. It was a surprise for everyone that, guys, you are sharing personal data, and you rely on like third-party authorization. That was really shocking. But again, it is a much more simple challenge than the previous case. We just created a VPN HTTPS gateway. Like again, don't be worried about those complicated words, but still we secured the connection within Hasura and BOID server, so no kind of data can be lost or can be stolen. So it uses VPN. It's like a tunnel inside the internet that nobody can access. So, and finally, it worked. It basically doesn't take too much time to create this kind of integration, but also it was a surprise. So the second thing that you should keep in mind when doing any kind of data integrations inside your building is that not all integrations are safe. The personal data, the GDPR regulations, they're quite strict. The penalties are quite high, for example, in Germany or in European Union. So you should double check the cybersecurity protocols. Even sometimes it's better to hire a cybersec company for the auditions to understand that all the protocols are encrypted, that the authorization is secure, and the channel and those endpoints of those connections are protected from the DDoS attacks. And this is the part of any integration project that you should keep in mind. So secure, security, security, one more time, security. Okay, and the last one, and quite short one, case that I'd like to share is BIM integrations. In every conference, lots of people are talking about, is there value in using BIM and BIM technologies inside the facility management software? And for example, we made a pilot with our partner company HyperIT that working on the BIM solution. We integrated our software and BIM, and not only BIM model, but also the sensors inside the building, where you can, for example, go to the service card of the equipment, then have a look at the service card in the CAFM software, and then have a look at the BIM model. It looks really great, but there is always a key issue. From my own experience, I think I've seen like dozens of BIM models. And when I ask landlords, guys, do you have a BIM model if you want to integrate? They said, yes, we have it. But sometimes it looks like this. It could be visually be similar, but if we go to our BIM model, to the real BIM model, and see how it looks. So just a second now. Open next slide. It could look like this. So there's a 3D model, and the whole building is in 3D. But when you click on the object, any kind of piece of equipment, for example, aircon or boiler or heater, there is no information about this object, only a 3D model. This is not BIM. This is an old style 3D model, because BIM stands for Building Information Model. The key idea that all information about the building, about the equipment, about the hardware that is on the building, all of this information is stored inside those objects. And that allows you to make software integrations inside of the computer-aided facility management software. Because if you don't have this data, for example, like here, we can't understand the program, the software can't understand what is it. Is it a chair or is it a heater? And is it what kind of a heater is it? So if you have only geometry, only BIM models, it's not a BIM. It's good all 3D. So every time everyone approaches you talking about the BIM integrations, the thing that you should check, which is really hidden, you should open those models, open those objects, and see, like right here inside these parameters of the object, is there any kind of data? Because here, for example, we see that the material is here, the weight, the width, the height. This is great. This means that those model is correct. But if there is only 3D, sorry, this is not BIM model. This is just all 3D. It's not possible to integrate it. So this is the thing that I'd like to share about the BIM integrations. And sometimes it looks really great, but when you have and receive your BIM model, when you start a BIM integration project, first of all, you should check the typization. So if it's for example, heater, you should see that it's a part of the heaters group, and all the heaters, they're part of like climate control systems. There should be a make, a serial number, all technical parameters in the parameters of the BIM model. And the last but not least, very important thing is that all the objects inside the BIM model should be connected, should be bind to the spaces, so we can understand in which room this equipment is stored and where to put it inside of the CAFM system. So let's wrap up. We have 3 hidden problems that I've shared today, that when you deal with hardware vendors, check for cases. Very often, hardware vendors are not really good in software. So check the APIs, check the cases, double check in the sandbox their SDKs and their APIs, how it works. The second hidden problem is safety. Sometimes not all integrations are safe, and sometimes it's better to invest time and money and hire a cybersec company for audition of your project. And if you're investing in the BIM software, in the BIM models, in the BIM projects in your building, double check the objects, double check the data that is stored in the model, because when you see a BIM model, it may look great. It may look very similar like what you have inside the building. It may look as a double twin, a digital twin of the building, but the real digital twin have to store the data inside. This is the thing that makes this twin really digital. Okay, so thank you for attending this webinar. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching this video if you're seeing it in the recording. Again, me and Anna, we present here ORDIN Labs company. We help real estate companies to develop and integrate real estate software. We are focused on real estate. Our team of developers are focused on real estate. So if you have any questions, anything that can help with, any like complicated project that's running inside your building, we're here to help. So you can drop an email to Anna that you have on your screen. You can write down in the chat. On the website that you're looking, and we have also the URL on the screen. You can find all the information about the company, also all the contacts. And if you leave the email right under this video, we'll send you a checklist for integrating real estate software. So all the things that we discussed, all our experience is stored in this checklist. And just going step by step, you can evaluate any real estate software project, any project that you run in your building, either it's connected with facility management or property management. This thing will be really helpful. So don't be shy, leave an email, and leave your email and drop a line to us if you have any problems with real estate software integrations. So thank you very much and hope to hear from you soon. Thank you and have a nice day.